Hi everybody, good morning, it's Jean here, or good afternoon. It's Jean here. I'm in my sewing room, and as you can see, I'm not doing anything, but I am doing something. I'm not doing a lot of stuff sewing wise. I am trying to get ready to make my elephant quilt. Now if you're just tuning in, I had shown on one of my last videos a pattern that I was embarking, or maybe going to embark on. It's called the Elephant Abstractions Quilt. Hopefully you can see that. The Elephant Abstractions Quilt is the fourth pattern in the Abstractions series. This foundation paper piece quilt pattern is made of one large striking block. This is one 54-inch by 60-inch quilt block, all foundation pieced. I've had this pattern for a while, and it was funny in my last video. I was saying, oh, I might make this elephant quilt, and so many of you are like, oh, I have that pattern. Oh, I have that pattern. Oh, I have that pattern. And I'm thinking, well, why didn't you guys make it? Because it's hard. Is it hard? Yes, it is. Foundation piecing, if you don't know anything about it, is, as I was saying, jokingly but quite serious. You're you're sewing on paper. Trust me, you're sewing on paper, you're sewing upside down, you're sewing sort of backwards and blind and inside out and mirror image. It's not a skill for beginner quilters. And as you know, I like to tailor my quilting channel here to beginner quilters. But occasionally, when I just want to come in my sewing room, as you know, I want to do something that I would do, maybe a little bit more difficult. So that's what I'm doing. This is not going to be a proper tutorial. This is more of my story. Some of you don't like my stories, but that's okay. You can go somewhere else. This is my story of my process of trying to make this quilt. Is it a tutorial? No, but I will be showing you what I'm doing along the way to get, hopefully, to this end product. Now, as I was saying before, the pattern obviously shows a gray elephant on a yellow background, a goldish background. And as I was saying before, if you go on Pinterest, you will see this exact quilt in many different colorways. The exact quilt, because it is a very precise pattern. There's a million of them. A million people have made this quilt, so it can't be that hard. Let's see, it says instructions assume a basic, oh, I'm very basic, knowledge of foundation paper piecing. I've done foundation paper piecing before, don't love it. But I didn't love a Bargello when I did it, and I enjoyed it, so I'll do it again. Now, this is my point, if you want to just hold your horses here. Before beginning this pattern, you have to copy or trace the pattern templates at 100%. to retain your original templates. Templates must be printed on 11 by 17 inch paper or a dark enough setting to retain all the details. Now, this is my pattern, and it came in a bag, in a plastic, and it came with these pattern templates. Double-sided pattern templates, quite a lot. And then it came with the actual sort of putting together, or what it should look like, the key of the pattern. So there is your elephant foundation paper piecing key. Now all of these images up here, there's little dots, there's little hearts, there's little crosses, there's little cat faces. All of those, that key is a different fabric, which then is put tiny pieces together. Now, there must be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of tiny little pieces in this pattern. That's the whole point, that you couldn't really get it so precise without the method of foundation piecing, which when it's done right, you get an incredibly accurate pieced block or pieced quilt. So all of those dozens and hundreds of little gray pieces come together beautifully, following the key here, following your pattern color and following your pattern. And then when you're done putting all of these pieces together, then you have 2 ears, you have a trunk. So in this trunk area there might be 150, 200 pieces that are, there's 4 pieces on a thing, there's 6 pieces, and then they all get sewn together to make the trunk. So it's a matter of starting very tiny and working up and gathering all of your pieces together. So this palette is organized from light to dark. So when choosing fabrics other than the listed palette, following this order will give you the proper contrast. So I am, if you remember, I'm making a red elephant. My elephant's going to be red, and my background is going to be, I think, is going to be this, I showed you before, this sort of ombre, this sort of sunrise or sunset looking ombre fabric with, I think in my imagination I have it sort of grounded with the black. And then my elephant will be, like our Bargello, my elephant will be advancing, and then in the background of my background I will have little silhouettes of elephants with that like sort of that tree, one of those trees on a savanna. That's my idea. So I'm not using the yellow for this background. So this is where I'm going to change it up, I believe. But before I get to that point, how I'm going to do that, I'm going to show you on the back of the package here. This quilt is already, the pattern maker is already helped by taking 2 different fabric manufacturers, Robert Kaufman using Kona cotton and Michael Miller using the cotton couture. And those colorways here from both fabric manufacturers are the exact colorways that you would buy if you were buying them, ordering them online from wherever. They tell you the exact colors, and this table over here gives you the exact amount that you need. So for instance, if you're using Robert Kaufman colors, you would use snow, bone, titanium, mushroom, fog, shiitake, graphite, metal, coal, Gotham gray, Windsor, and curry for the background, the yellow. And then it will tell you over here, very well done, that if you're using those colors for, say, Robert Kaufman, you would be needing 1/3 of a yard of the snow, and that would be for the tusks and the highlights. It really does a lot of the homework for you. So you'd be using the snow, which is obviously white, cream, for the tusks, for these tusks, and the highlights. You'd need 1/3 of a yard, and then so forth. If you're using the Michael Miller, then that would be, you'll be using the color soft white, cream, ozone, earth, wedgwood, stone, coin, clay, gray, charcoal, graphite, and gold. So those are those 2 fabric manufacturers. I'm deciding to do a red elephant. So what I thought I would have to do, even before I start sewing anything, I'm doing this properly. As you know, if you've been following me, Jean does wing things an awfully lot. But I'm wanting to do this properly because I don't think there's any other way to do it. I don't usually follow a pattern, as you know, but I wanted to make this quilt. I've seen it a million times on Pinterest, and I'm like, yeah, I really like that look, and I'm going to make that. But I am going to change it up. I'm making a red elephant. Now, this is a gray elephant. That's what you see. But there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 grays to make that elephant, and a little bit of pale blue and a bit of white. 11 different colors, all very, very similar. So I got thinking, my Elliot had done a sort of a Photoshop mock-up on the computer. He's very good at what my reds would look like. And then I, based on that that image and the fabric guide here, I went and I got a lot of batiks, which I will show you. Now it calls for, say, a third of a yard, a quarter of a yard, a yard. I always err on the cautious side, especially with paper piecing, because, well, I'll come to this whenever I come to it, maybe weeks and weeks late down the road. When it comes to paper piecing, you have to cut out a piece that's larger when you flip it to cover your pattern. And if you don't, you're messed up. You'll be short. And again, it's an art. It's a science, perhaps. And it's pretty good, but it's a little bit difficult. So anyway, what I've done myself, I have done this. I have made my own color palette, as it were, in all of my reds. Now, I have my snow, my bone, what I've called them. And then it's called Petal Pink, Magenta Kiss, Sage Mist, Ruby Red, Hot Pink, Maraschino Cherry, Rich Red Burgundy, and so forth. And then I have put exactly as they have. I've copied their chart, doing exactly what this color is used for. So say the Magenta Kiss is used for the hind legs. The Hot Pink is for the body. The Maraschino Cherry is for the front legs. And then next to it, what you get given, again, this is, I haven't even started sewing anything. Here, this page, which I showed you with the key up here, I printed this on my printer. I had to go to a copy place, which I'm going to show you in a minute. I had to go to copy place to get this printed out on 11 by 17 ledger legal size paper. But I just printed out this, another one, so I could cut out. I didn't cut, this is my main one. I didn't cut this out. I cut out my copy of this key. And as you see, I cut out these little images. Now that's the key on the top of this one that you're using. All of these images have a key. So everywhere you need to sew this color, you're going to be looking for little cherries in your pattern piece. Because if your ear highlights, when I'm doing my ears, I have to find my ears wherever they are. I'm going to be looking for the little cherries, and then I will know that it's my sage, my little, what's it called, sage mist. There's a little bit of touch of, I'd put a little touch of blue on her ears. So I haven't, as I said, I haven't even started sewing anything. To figure this out, this is what I'm doing, and I'm thinking to keep, because basically I'm making a red elephant, but I'm using 12 different fabrics. So my pile of fabrics are over here. They're very similar. And it will only be when you see this up close that you'll see, the shading and the variation as you do that one. So I'm doing mine in red. Now, what we needed to do, oh, so funny. And it cost me $11, $11 additional dollars. I don't know how much the pattern cost, but not cheap. This is the master pattern, as I was saying, and it's printed double side. We messed up yesterday. I don't know what we were doing. Maxwell and I went to the UPS store, and because they have a copier there, and I videoed a little bit. I'll put a little bit up because we really messed up. And I did it exactly as they did it. I printed them on both sides. But then I thought, oh, no, I have to, and there's 16 sheets here, both sides. And we were messing about, how do you print both sides? And we had to get help and whatever. So I printed all those out, and then I realized, oh no, I have to use that pattern to cut it out. So I went and printed another 16, both sides, and then I figured, I haven't done foundation paper piecing in a while. You don't do it that way. you have to cut out your pattern. You have to cut that out so you're sewing on that, but you have to hold it up to the light to see a line where you're going to be sewing it. Again, it's not for the faint of heart, this. So, but I did it both sides, so, oh my goodness. Then I came back, so I did 2 lots of that lot, paid $11.30 for that. They're useless. And then I came back and I was reading the, when all else fails, read the instructions. Templates, templates are printed on the front and back of the paper to ensure your pattern is not accidentally used. So you don't use this, you have to copy this. So you have to retain a copy of your pattern. Print your copy to use one-sided. Well, I didn't do that yesterday. So today, and you'll see what we did just a little while ago, Ian and Maxwell and I went to Staples this time. We had to run into Staples. And I took my pattern and I did exactly that. I copied every single page one-sided. So that now when I asked if they had thinner paper, because this is regular copy paper, and the thinner the paper, the better it is to be able to rip. But at the end of the day, you have to rip paper anyway. But you are going to be cutting out, say, this pattern piece to do all of your little pieces on. When it comes to it, your paper foundation piecing, you need to see through. I don't know if you can see that. You need to see through your paper to see this pattern. And then you have to sew on the paper. Upside down and backwards and mirror image. And it's sort of weird. I must say, once you get into the hang of it, as you can see, a million pieces of fabric going a million places on all of these patterns, on all of these things, right? Once you get into it, you get into a rhythm. I remember that. Now, the one thing I do want to address before I click off here, I'm going to just show, some of our silliness. Is I was saying I'm going to be doing a different background. Now, again, this is way, way down the road, but I'm trying to, I want to try to just make the gray elephant. But as I was looking at the instructions and as I was looking at the actual pattern, I realized that on the key here, the letter B is for the curry, which is the yellow. So it's a foundation block. So the background of this quilt, the yellow or whatever color you wish it to be, is actually paper pieced. There it is. There's the B. So this large pattern here, I don't want that piece. But when I get to it, when I see this key of this piece, the B, what I've gotten, and I think this will work, I just have some cheap muslin. And I'm just going to be doing, if it calls for a piece that big, I'm just going to do where the seam is, right here, where I sew. I'm just going to do a little piece that big. If you understand that. Again, hopefully it'll work out. So then when it comes to it, I haven't pieced my background. I haven't pieced my yellow, as it were. I've just pieced a little tiny little bit around my elephant. Then I can trim away. This is my thought process. If it works, I don't know. I can then trim away my muslin and then make my background where I'm going to apply my elephant, my red elephant, and I can then applique. I can satin stitch. I will machine satin stitch, a wide, close together machine satin stitch after I trim the cream away, and I will just have a red elephant. If you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, that's way, way down the road. Hopefully it'll turn out. This elephant quilt, I have opened a can of worms here. And everybody's like, oh yeah, make the elephant quilt. Ooh, make the elephant quilt, Jean. Oh, you're so clever. First of all, I bought the pattern. That cost me $11.30. Staples is a lot cheaper. This cost me $6. Oh no, that was $11.30. This was $6.31. $5 difference. Wow, $5 difference for the same amount of paper. How about that? Anyway, that's that. So go to Staples, or if you have a copier, we have a copier upstairs, but it doesn't have the legal size paper. But I think it's very important that you do your homework here and you do this before you start. It's as I was saying, I don't do that. I just grab and I glue and I stitch and I cut and I rip. But I want to make this to look like that, like in a million other quilts. My background's going to be a little bit different though, hopefully. So that's before I've even started to cut anything. This is what I've done. I've really thought about my colorways. I have, except for this one, I have advanced from, I have graduated, I should say, from light to dark. But I wanted my body more pink. So but this is pretty much light without, that's a highlight, forget that one. So this is pretty much light down to the dark. So that's, again, that's the instructions. So you're going to need, oh, and I don't have my, as you'll see, I don't have my muslin on the bottom. That's the yellow. I don't have that. I just know that I'm just going to pull some of that. Like this piece right there. That big, huge piece right there is a bit of the yellow background. Now, I'm not going to be doing that. I'm just going, wherever I sew from here to here, I'll just use a little, because then I don't need that. And I will just cut my elephant away from my background, the little tiny bits of my background. So I will see how that goes. This is hard. This is hard. I would love to hear from people who've made this, if they found it really daunting. I'm not truly daunted. As a beginner, you would be freaking out daunted, because it's like, what the heck? Because it doesn't show you, oh, this is the thing. Instructions assume a basic knowledge of foundation paper piecing. You have to know, it could be all very well and good. You're like, oh, I'm going to do what Jean did. I'll do all that. Oh, yeah. And then you get the pattern. You're like, what the heck do I do with these? If you have not assumed, I assume you don't have a basic knowledge of foundation piecing, because you're going to be screwed because you don't know what to do with this lot. This is the pattern. You have to know what you're doing. That's what, when I get to it, I'm going to collect everything up and probably just put it away for now, because I have other things to do. But that's when I will put the camera down and I'll try to figure it out. And I was looking at this. I was looking at my master copy, or where is it? There's so much to look at. And I thought, well, there's all these numbers, million numbers, 1 to 90. Yeah. So I thought, oh, okay, no, 1 to 97, 100, not 100 little pieces, 100 segments. So 1,000 little pieces of fabric. So I thought, let's go back to 1. So I literally found, I'm going to go and find template number, pattern number 1. Because like this is pattern number 49, that one's 44, this is 6. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to now find 1, 2, and I'll put them in order. That's my next big job. I will find, and then I will work from number 1, which happens to be the top of the elephant's trunk, the top of the elephant's forehead, coming to his highlights on his ears, and then the trunk down below. So yeah, this is hard. This is hard. It's been made a million times, as I said, and I would love to hear from people who've made this. If they were really daunted. I have made, as I said, I have made foundation piece bits before, quilt before. I wonder where that quilt is. I made it years ago. One of my first quilts. I thought I was all clever. My quilts have gotten simpler and simpler. When I was first quilting, I thought I was all clever and made this foundation paper piece, and I'm thinking that was so hard. But I did it, but it was larger pieces. These are tiny. Okay, I mean tiny little pieces, this big, half an inch. And that's why you need to do the paper piecing. Anyway, that's my thing. That's what I'm going to be doing along with my other bits. As I said, don't think this is a proper tutorial. I don't want questions asked to me. You're just going to be watching what I'm doing. And maybe I'll be able to, because I like to talk, and I like to explain things, what I'm doing. Somebody said, oh, you do like to talk, and I'm like, yeah, I do. I find it very easy to talk. I'm talking to my camera. There's no one else here. Actually, my family is here. I got to go out and got to feed them. Yeah, I like to talk, and I hope I can impart some of what I learned from this pattern, because it's not easy. And I was thinking that. I'm wondering if I'm going to get in trouble. Maybe you trademark gods can tell me this, because it says, all rights reserved, which I don't know what that means, but you see that on everything. No part of this pattern may be reproduced in any form without the express written consent of the author. Permission to print or copy templates and instructions for personal use is granted. Well, I'm printing these for personal use, but am I reproducing this in any form? I don't think so. I'm making it. I'm making this pattern from my own, I'm making this quilt from my pattern that I purchased. I'm just showing you how I'm making it. That's why this is not a tutorial. I'm not reproducing this. I don't know. Hope I don't get in trouble. All this work and then I'll get in trouble. So tell me, folks, are there any lawyers out there? Am I going to get in trouble for showing this? I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think so, because I bought the pattern and I'm just making it. So anyway, that's my thing for today. I will put up silly. Maxwell and I were just so silly yesterday trying to do it, and then Ian and I. Oh, and you must excuse me. In the cold, harsh light of day, I look old. Oh, I think I look nice now, but like I have wrinkles and and I was looking at myself and I'm thinking, oh, geez, mate, that's what I look like. Anyway, not very flattering, the cold light of day when you're getting old. Our son is going to be 37 years old tomorrow. Yeah, it's funny that. So anyway, Jen is coming later on, or she'll already been here. I don't know when I'm going to put this up, for our question and answer. She's going to be doing that with me. If you have any more questions about sewing or anything, just leave them in the comments below. As you know, I look at and answer all my comments. So we're going to be doing that maybe later on this week, if I haven't already done this. I don't know when we're going to do it. But anyway, so there's my Elephant Abstractions beginning, and I have not even started. But you have to do all this. I think you have to do all this to do all your homework to get it right. So anyway, hang in there with me for the next however long few months this will take me to do this, and we will have fun together. All right, folks, just a few little silly bits coming up. Okay, thanks. See ya. Bye. So here's Maxwell and I.
I really don't want to be in here.
He doesn't really want to do this, and this is silly, but this is one of my stories. Remember I had a story, and you want to see stories? So this is a story. So come on, we're going to walk. We're walking to the UPS store. This is exciting.
Not really. I'd rather be going to my local GameStop.
Oh, the local GameStop. What an evil store. I'm sorry. It's full of...
It's not evil.
It's horrible.
It's not evil.
Okay, anyway, it has horrible video games. Maxwell plays nice video games, don't you? What kind of video games do you play?
Racing games.
Yeah, keep your voice down.
And if you wanted to see that thing,
tell him.
Let me know.
No, Maxwell has a YouTube channel. Maxwell, listen. Let's go over here. Let's go over here, Maxwell. Yeah, listen. Tell these people.
I have a gaming YouTube channel. I haven't posted for like 2 months, like straight, because I don't know what to post. And the game,
What is it? What your gaming channel is what? What's it called?
Can you tilt that camera up?
Oh, sorry.
Truelove Games with a Z, not an S.
G-A-M-E-Z.
Right. It's like Truelove Gomez, but I pronounce it Games.
Right. Okay, so folks, go look up Maxwell on his YouTube channel, Truelove Games. Now, back to this silly elephant quilt. We are going to come into UPS, and we're going to come to the printers here. Okay. Okay, so we are done now. Maxwell's fed up. We're done. Oh, this is a pain in the neck. So we had to copy. We had to copy 16 each side. So we had to copy 32 patterns, and it only cost, well, it cost us, oh, we messed up, how many?
We messed up 19 of them.
We messed up, but they didn't mind. And the guy said, I'm not going to charge you, which was very kind. But this cost, how much? 11? I know.
Mom, you paid for it. I don't know.
It was, I believe it was $11.30 for the copies, just to make the copy for this pattern. Oh my word.
$11.
$11.30 for legal size paper.
And I am tired.
I know, he's tired. Okay, so this is just going to be the first video to make this silly quilt with Maxwell's help. Thank you, Maxwell. Love you.
Bye.
Bye. Hey everybody, it's Jean here. Say hello, Maxwell.
This is going to be attempt number 2.
We have attempted twice to do what, Maxwell?
For the elephant pattern,
yeah.
we messed it up. And we did double-sided pattern when we were supposed to only do one-sided.
Right. So we went to UPS, the UPS store, yesterday, and I videoed that.
And we'll include a short clip of our mistake. We
really messed that up because when you're foundation piecing, here's my husband. Say hello, Ian. We're going into Staples now. There's Ian. We're going into Staples, and we're going to try to make this pattern the proper way. When you're foundation piecing, we had to do it one-sided, and I did two-sided. So here, you want to see this silly elephant quilt?
No. I mean, yes.
Yes, Ian wants to see the silly elephant quilt. Maxwell, I have my little rooting fans here that are going with me.
Rooting!
And so we're going into Staples. Where's Staples? Over here. Can I see that now? There's Staples over there. And we're going to go try to copy this pattern and get it right this time. So here we go, folks.
Here, can I have that?
Okay, so
give me that.
So how many Trueloves does it take to copy a pattern? 3 of us.
Dad, give me that.
Okay.
Give me the camera.
See ya. Okay, let's go.
We're gonna record this all of it.
Oh, are we?
The door won't open.
Where's my handbag? Don't toggle it around. Where's my handbag?
I don't.
Oh,
back there.
Okay.
So we're in Staples, and I'm not the main attraction. My mom is.
I'm not the main attraction.
At all.
Don't do it so fast. Don't do it so fast.
Sorry.
Okay, so here we go.
Hey, I have an itch. Okay. Are we just gonna walk in with a camera?
Yes. Here we are.
Walking in.
So now we're going to try.
Go over there.
Go there. Go slow.
And yes.
Can we do this by ourselves?
I think yes, we can. So like.
Oh, self-serving copying. Okay. Here we go.
Self-serving copies.
Okay, go slow.
Okay.
We need to have. Which one do I want? This looks good. We need to have set that up.
I'm gonna put you down, guys.
We need to have
Hold on.
Why are we recording this?
You want 1 to 1-sided.
No, we want 2 to 1-sided. She was just telling us we want 2 to 1-sided because this pattern we want to copy. It's printed out, as I said, it's printed out. Comes from the manufacturer with patterns on both sides, but we want the pattern on one side of the paper. Ledger size, 11 by 17, black and white. Should be two-sided, one. That's it, 2 1-sided. So, put it all in here.
I'm just gonna double.
Do one and see if it works.
So we're not gonna put all these papers in.
Well, I guess you can. Did you select ledger size?
11 by 17. Just that's ledger.
Okay, well then.
Hope this is right.
it should be coming out one. It should be coming out one on one side.
That's not ours.
No, that's not ours.
We'll copy them all first, I'm sure.
Yes, it's going to copy them all. Yes.
It's going to scan them, you mean?
Yeah, it's going to scan them all so they know what.
I wonder how much this is going to cost. I've already paid $11 for screwed up ones. I know, what a shame.
We really need the lady.
Okay. Now, continue. So it's scanned them, hopefully, and now it's processing our copy. We're at Staples here. Oh, to make this silly elephant quilt. Cut me a break. What? Oh, yes. So we should be getting 32. We should be getting 32 because there's 16 pages in this pattern. So count them. I'm not counting them. Are you counting them?
I'm just grabbing paper.
Are you counting them, Ian? Okay, Daddy's counting them. This is how we're spending our Sunday. This is so exciting.
Counting? With the Truelove family.
What I don't do to make quilts. This is ridiculous. I don't even want to make this stupid quilt. Oh my, it is.
I really hope I don't get a paper cut.
You're strong. Paper cuts won't hurt you.
Oh, really?
How much is it a copy, I wonder?
This whole job was like $6.63.
Oh,
Something like that. I can't hold all this.
Oh, why is it doing? Oh, take them off, darling. Okay, this is good. It's working.
Yes, and
33. It should be 30.
And this whole job was $6.13.
Did you pay for it already?
Yep.
How'd you pay for it?
Your card.
My card.
Oh, yeah, we used your card.
Oh, okay. Okay, folks, well here we have, now, I can go back into my sewing room and show you how I'm going to use this for firewood. I just throw them all away. No.
Firewood?
No, I know, I feel like it. Okay, now, it's okay. Oh, okay, now we got to keep the master copies here separate from these copies. So this is my pattern. So Daddy's going to sort this out.
So the copies will be straight, the master will be folded.
Yes. Yeah, so you don't, you have to come to the copier place to do the pattern because you have to copy them because you're only using one side. So that's the whole reason for this. So.
Counting with Ian.
Counting with you. Is this fascinating viewing? Do you think these people really want to see this? Look at this, how exciting place we're in Staples. Isn't it exciting? Okay, we've got our pattern. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Say goodbye, smile.